Welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, an actual play podcast. Every episode microplot is a complete adventure with a beginning and an end that fits into the overarching macroplot of the whole season. Because they stand sturdily on their own, you can listen to these adventures in any order and can skip any you don't enjoy. Today we are playing with the combat mechanics from the game called Roll for Shoes. It's our first time playing this game, so we might make some mistakes. If you enjoy these mechanics, you can find the game on rollforshoes.com. Build your own Roll for Shoes character and play a game with friends. Speaking of friends, today we are joined by Bartholomew.
Good evening, everyone. I am Bartholomew Salvador. I am a 6'2" human man with auburn hair, white skin, and blue eyes, wearing a green regimental coat with beige facings, beige breeches, and a black tricorn hat.
Mervon.
Hey, everyone. I'm a just about 8 foot tall hippo folk, a little over 800 pounds, so little thin. I'm not proud of that. Got mottled gray skin, green eyes, and you will never catch me not wearing my overalls because even though they're a little stained, they let me carry everything I need to do when things need to get fixed.
And Nugh the Silent.
Nugh is about 6.5 feet tall, a flesh golem with dull brown hair, pale to grayish skin, and wearing a dark brown suit stained with grave dirt.
All right. It's a rainy night in Nicomoy tonight. Rain sheets the deserted streets. A low, distant echo of thunder can be heard. In a warm, firelit tap room of the Fire-Breathing Kittens Guild Hall sit our three adventurers. What are you all doing on this rainy night?
I think Mervon's just sitting back enjoying the last sips of an ale, just maybe thinking about the few days, maybe a few weeks before when he's kind of stumbled into this lifestyle, if you will, of this guild. He was just a simple handyman, and now he's got a sentient goblin pouch under his armpit. I mean, things are kind of gone weird for him.
Nugh, what are you doing?
I think Nugh is probably plinking away on a ukulele, maybe working out a new song. He's got a notebook open next to him that he's occasionally jotting things down in.
Bartholomew, what are you up to?
Oh, I'm over by the open fire, sitting and relaxing, reading my latest edition of The Inspirer and sipping on a hot cup of coffee, just passing the time, listening to the good music and enjoying the warmth and the comfort.
All right. As you are enjoying your warmth and comfort, you all see a letter slide under the front door of the guild hall.
Mervon looks over, sees it, thinks about the events of the last, like I said, few weeks. You hear a audible sigh, just a head drops as he just lumbers over, bends over to pick it up and open it.
All right. On a pristine piece of paper, you read, "Fire-breathing kittens, I need your aid. My son has gone mad and is holding me in the Tower of Nod at the center of Nicomoy." And it's signed this beautiful, flowing hand script, Knell of Nod. And then at the bottom, almost looks like a postscript, you see a poem that reads, "A journey through the realm unseen, where hope and fearfulness convene. Through the night, find your way to where the light holds endless sway."
So Mervon looks at this. Mervon looks at this letter, looks at the floralness of the writing and just the crispness of it, looks over at Nugh and down at himself and kind of like, and then walks over to Bartholomew. He's like, I think this is probably for you.
This addressed to me? Let me take a look. It's not addressed to me, but is this a job? Where did you get this?
I think it is. It was the door. Somebody wants us to do something.
Well, it's rather late, but this is rather interesting. I love this poetry. I'm a poet myself.
That tracks. I thought so.
Oh, here you go, Nugh. Take a read yourself.
Nugh reads the poem very carefully.
Would you like me to read it again?
I would.
"A journey through the realm unseen, where hope and fearfulness convene. Through the night, find your way to where the light holds endless sway."
And you said there was someone in a tower?
The letter itself says, "Fire-breathing kittens, I need your aid. My son has gone mad and is holding me in the Tower of Nod at the center of Nicomoy. Signed, Nell of Nod."
Oh, you hear Mervin's like, nod and unseen and darkness. This can't be good. I thought sleep was supposed to be a pleasant thing, and this is starting to feel like maybe it's not going to be.
Well, what do you two say? Should we help this individual Nod from this tower that's in the center of Nicomoy? I don't recall there being a large tower. Or maybe there was. Maybe like a bell tower of sorts.
Roll a d6. So in the game Roll for Shoes, all of the characters start out with one ability, and that is called Do Anything. Anytime they do something that would require a roll, they roll. It starts with 1d6, and if you beat my roll, a successful thing happens. If you don't beat my roll, you get 1 experience point that you can use later in the game to upgrade whatever you roll to a successful roll. If you roll a 6 in this game, you get better at the thing you are trying to do. So what I'm going to ask you to do is roll a d6, and if you succeed, I will tell you what you succeeded on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got a 6.
Okay. So we are going to call this remembering.
Okay.
So anytime from now on you try to remember something, you get to roll 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember there isn't a tower, especially not one called the Tower of Nod in the center of Nicomoy.
I would relay that information to my compatriots. I've never heard of the Tower of Nod or Nell of Nod, and I've done quite a bit of research on Nicomoy since I've been here, writing about current events.
But the weird thing is, it's not there, but it feels right that it is there. Both Mervon and Nugh roll d6s to see if you remember.
4.
I got a 1.
Okay, so both of you are like, no, there's definitely a tower called the Tower of Nod in the middle of Nicomoy. I remember it being there. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but both of you remember that there's a tower called the Tower of Nod in the middle of Nicomoy. It's a big white tower. How do you forget it?
I mean, yeah. Listen to Nugh. Of course it's there. Yeah, big white tower. You can't miss it.
White Tower. Interesting. I remember it being... Well, I don't even remember it at all. Well, let's go and take a look. If you know what it is and where it is, please take me to see it.
GM, I have a
peculiar.
question.
Yes.
Do we get XP because we failed?
Yes, because you failed, you each get 1 XP that you can turn a failed dice roll into a successful dice roll later. You don't get to upgrade on that because you only upgrade on 6 and it turns your dice into a 6, but you don't get to upgrade that point.
In other words, you still fail, but you would get the
No, you succeed on the roll, but you don't get better at the thing you were rolling for.
Yeah, you don't gain a skill. You just gain the win there.
Ah, I see. I have it backwards.
Yeah, I thought it said for advancement purposes only. So
Did I read that wrong?
Oh, XP can be used to change a die into a 6 for advancement purposes only. Good point. I was thinking the other way.
Okay. So we were right to think
I read
that.
it the way Mervon read it. So let's take I am cool playing it either way. Which way do you guys want to play it? Where it's a fail, but you upgrade that skill, or you don't upgrade that skill, but you get 100% a success rate on.
If we're not allowed to upgrade the skills, we'll never get any skills, which is the fun part of this game.
Yeah, I think the advancement of skills makes sense. Yeah.
yeah.
Now that I read that, I interpret it as like advancing the plot, not advancing the character. That was, I think, where my interpretation came from.
Splendid. I love that idea.
Cool.
Also, presumably, if you succeeded on your roll, you could still spend it to upgrade your skill without failing.
True. Very good. Excellent point.
What are you guys doing now?
I'm following the two of them so they can show me this Tower of Nod that is supposedly there.
You've decided you're going?
Yes.
Okay. So the crowd jostles you as you stand on the dusty streets outside the Tower of Nod. The sun reflecting off the white marble is almost blinding you. In the center of the wall of this 70-foot tower is a dark recess, presumably a doorway. From where you stand, the shadows are too thick for you to see through.
I have a continuity question.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes ago, it was a dark and stormy night.
That's a very good question. So you see the white tower. There's a dark doorway. What are you guys doing?
Shielding my eyes from the bright sunlight. I could have sworn it was...
I will remind the players, the game allows, the role is called Do Anything. If you want to try for eldritch powers, if you want literally anything you can think of, this game allows for.
I think first, Mervin's going to try to reconcile. It was a dark, stormy night, and now we're in bright sunlight. I think he's going to, well, I'm not saying how he's going to do it, but recognizing that discontinuity, that something's off.
Is anyone else doing this?
Yes, I'm perturbed by the sudden sunlight.
Everyone
Weirdly
roll
enough,
a d6.
I think Nugh is actually just accepts it as the way it is. Yeah.
You're not going to have a hard time.
This is not the weirdest
beating my
thing
roll.
he's seen.
Did you say we will or won't have a hard time?
You will not have a hard time beating my roll.
Well, I got a 2.
I got a 5.
Does tie go to the runner? We're going to say tie goes to the runner. So, yeah, you succeeded. Okay. So, Nugh, go ahead and take off your headphones for just a second. I'll wave at you when you put them back on. Okay, so both of you guys realize there's a cognitive disconnect. You don't remember how you got here. You were in the Fire-Breathing Kittens Guild Hall, and you decided to come here. It was raining outside, and now you're standing outside this tower, and there's people on the streets, and it's sunny, and it looks like it hasn't rained for a while. Both of you will get an extra dice on, what should I call it? Let's call it Reconcile Reality.
So we didn't even recognize we walked there. Like literally,
no memory of walking.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool.
All right. So what do y'all want to do?
This is weird, right? Like
yes, it's daylight, and I've felt this way before. Have you ever been riding a horse and you're just going down a long road, and you're just thinking to yourself, and then all of a sudden it's sort of as if you just appear at your destination. Everything beforehand just is blank.
I mean,
how did we get here?
I haven't ridden a horse, and he kind of points at himself like, yeah. But no, I know what you're talking about. Like you get kind of get lost in your thoughts.
So
yes.
Nugh takes out his notebook, and he points at the first line of the poem that says, "A journey through realm unseen."
So this makes more sense.
Well, what's that second line again?
Points at the second line, where hope and fearfulness convene.
Oh, wait, hope. So when you think, philosophically about like hope and despair, you think of like light and dark. And here we have this white tower, but we got this kind of dark doorway. What do y'all think?
Let me see if I can't see through. GM, I'd like to make a roll for anything to try and attempt to peer through this dark window or doorway.
Okay.
It was a doorway or a window, or was it both?
From where you stand, think of like a gateway in like a castle wall where it's recessed into the wall before you get to the gate.
I see. Mm-hmm.
What you can see is the archway to a gate, but you cannot see what is inside that archway.
I'm going to attempt to look further in. I rolled a 4.
You don't see past the shadows.
I'll record that experience point for later. But Bartholomew is squinting his eyes and trying to get a good look through the darkness, and he can't see anything. Well, what was that line about where bravery and fearfulness Well, what was that second line?
Nugh holds up the notebook again, where hope and fearfulness convene.
Well, hope and fearfulness convene. Well, let's take our hope and face the fearfulness. Anyone coming with me?
Nugh is already walking in through the door. I will roll do anything if I need to.
Right behind you, Nugh.
Oh, Mervon, I think, is like, wait, hold up. Just take your time. It's like trying to slow her. Nugh. I can't even say that name down. I can't say it with that voice. Nugh down and probably failing miserably to do so. And so just following right behind.
Yeah.
So you see them both step through the shadowy, like they step into the shadows and they disappear after one or two steps. Are you following or are you staying outside? Mervon, are you staying outside? Or
I thought you were asking Bart. Yeah, no, I was going to follow them through. Yeah.
Yeah, Bartholomew said he was right behind Nugh, so I'm just going to call him Nugh. I'm sorry, that is hard for me.
Totally.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think, like I said, Mervon would have like tried to stop him, but then like would have been following behind trying to convince Nugh not to do it.
All right, so you guys step into this shadow, and once inside, you see a seemingly endless stretch of hallway. Lining the hallways are doors as far as you can see into the darkness. Just innumerable number of doors. I'll say you can probably see 100 feet. It's not terribly well lit. Well, it's not terribly light in there. You can't really tell where the light is coming from, but there's enough to see about 100 feet down.
Oh, my goodness. I've been here before, Nugh. But Bart recollects on one of his previous adventures, I wouldn't go through those doors. Do those doors have any nameplates on them listing where they go?
Do not.
They do not. This is.
Are you examining the doors?
Yes.
Or are you just glancing at them? Okay. Roll a d6 for me, because
okay.
We'll call it an investigation roll, and hopefully you roll well, because I did.
Roll the one.
Okay. Nope. Mark that XP down.
Actually,
but
I would
instead of, can I mark that up to a 6 to make sure I get this? Because this is important to Bartholomew too.
But that only advances a skill.
Mm-hmm. So you still get the failure, but you can spend the experience. So next time you investigate something, you get.
Okay. I'll do that.
I would like to investigate this.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Should I roll again, or should my roll just be the roll you have to beat?
I don't know, but I got a 6. So.
Okay. Well, you succeeded. The doors all seem the same. Next time you investigate, you get 2 6-sided die. But all the doors seem the same, except one has a faint white light coming from around the cracks in the door.
And I hold up the poem again at where it says, "To where the light holds endless sway." The last line of the poem.
I do agree with you, Nugh. That would be the place to go, but hold for a moment. Last time I was in a long corridor with these doors. I entered through one and experienced a memory. And one of those memories, I realized I had forgotten everything about it, about what happened. It's funny. I can remember that I forgot a memory, and I can't say what it was. But I do remember I went into one and got to relive a childhood memory of when I first received my horse, Alistar, and it was wonderful, but it was very, very terrifying to know that I could have lost that memory. So, a bit hesitant on entering through these doors and mysterious corridors.
Nugh already has his hand on the door handle.
Have any of you? No, I'm not going to prompt you. Never mind. So are you going in?
I was waiting for Bartholomew to say something compelling to keep me from opening this door, and I do pause for a moment because that is something to think about. We could lose a memory. I open the door.
Okay, the second you open the door, all of you are standing in a classroom. There's a teacher standing at the front, and she says, "You're late. There's only 20 minutes left in the exam. It's 70% of your grade. Sit down and do as much as you can." She hands you the papers and tells you all to sit down quickly.
This isn't the memory. Wait, reconcile. Or no, I guess it'd be reconcile reality.
Reality, yeah.
Let me reconcile reality and see if this is, to see if this is an actual memory of Bartholomew's. Roll 2 twos.
Well, tie goes to the runner, and it is not. This is not a. You have no memory of ever doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Nook
the
sits
GM
down to start taking the test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the GM tapped into my memory with this.
Yeah.
I've had this nightmare for my entire adult existence.
Same, but Nugh has no reference for this. Nugh has never been in a classroom.
Well,
closest-
each of you roll a d6.
4.
1. I'm just going to mark that XP now.
You can mark yours too, Mervon.
Okay.
I've got a 5.
Okay. Mervon and Nugh, both of you, this looks like it's written in a foreign language. You have no idea what any of this means. The teacher keeps pacing around you, looking at your paper, just tisking at you. And Bartholomew, this is child's play. This is like, what's 2 plus 2? Name one red thing in the room. Things like that. So you ace this test. Mervon and Nugh, after 20 minutes of just, it feels like an eternity. The teacher comes and looks over your paper and writes a big F in red letters on your paper. Bartholomew, she is so proud of you. She asks you to take your paper to the front of the class and read it for the class.
I hold my paper up and I point at the big red F and I just say, birthday!
Well, I don't know whose birthday it is, but I imagine you're not going to be getting presents this year. You failed with 70% of your grades. You failed the class. Bartholomew, what are you doing?
So I'm recollecting, what did I roll for? Is that a skill that I already have, or is that something?
I mean, you can get good at taking a test. If we ever run into another situation where you're taking a test in this game, test taking. Not every successful skill is going to become beneficial.
Oh, wait, that was do anything. So I don't really, well.
No, you don't get better at doing anything. That stays a 1 the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
That
didn't
felt
get
very human.
So are you coming up to the front of the class?
I suppose I should let my classmates know what a passing grade is and should be. You lead by example and whatnot.
As you stand up in the front of the class and start reading the correct answers, you realize that there's a lot of snickering going on and pointing and laughing at you. Mervon and Nugh, you realize he's not wearing any pants.
Any pants?
Nope. Bartholomew, you forgot to put on pants this morning. And you are standing in front of your class hanging brain.
Oh, no.
What do you want to do?
But I was wearing pants.
Okay, so are you going to try to reconcile reality?
Yes.
Okay, reconcile reality.
I mentioned earlier I'm wearing beige breeches.
Then try to reconcile reality. See what happens.
Was I just... Yes, I need to. A 6 and a 5. So.
Okay. So you are going to get, what's cool about Roll for Shoes is it can get more specific the better you get at it. So it's not going to be reconcile reality. The next one, I'll give you 3 and reconcile reality, and then we'll get more specific as we go on. You are wearing pants. Yes, you are. And your pants are back on you.
Oh.
And in fact, once you do that, the classroom fades a little bit. And you see a door behind the teacher with a soft white glow standing behind it, or coming from behind it. It's a little bit brighter than the one that was in the hallway.
Do
we
Mervon
see
and
this?
I see it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You two don't see it unless he points it out to you. You guys, he does have his pants on, but the room is still solid for you guys.
Okay. I would like to try to reconcile the reality that just happened here. I don't have any extra ability in this, so it's going to be do anything.
Okay, roll a d6.
I got a 6.
Okay, so you're now going to get 2 in reconcile reality, and the classroom fades a little bit. It's not gone. It's just sort of it becomes a little bit transparent. Isn't the right word? Ephemeral, I guess, is the right word. The room becomes a little bit more ephemeral, and you can kind of see through it. Did you ever watch Star Trek with the holodeck?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like somebody called for an arch. Like, not that sudden, but there's a door there that wasn't there before.
Mervin's going to. I don't think it's the reconciling the pants versus no pants sudden change. I think is what drives him, because we definitely remember he didn't have pants on and then suddenly did, or does it seem like he always had pants on?
To you, he didn't have pants on. That was hilarious. And suddenly he had pants on, and that just seems normal.
Okay, I'm going to reconcile reality against that. Ooh, 3 and a 4.
You tied with my 4, so now you get 3 in reconcile reality.
And the same type of thing. I now see. Hey, Bart. Can I call you Bart?
Yes. Everyone does.
Bart, did what happened there? That first that was a cool trick. I don't even know how you do that. That was really impressive. But what's going on?
I think you're talking about me not having pants.
Yeah, I mean it was a little startling. I'm not gonna lie, but that's
It was very startling for me. Felt like a bad dream. Be honest.
Oh, and you understood that test?
Yes.
And you see Mervon just kind of struggling, trying to wrap his head around what's going on. I think he's confused. Like he hasn't really reconciled anything other than the fact that you're wearing pants now. Like that's
right.
He understands that that's the reality, but the
despair,
discontinuity is frightening.
It was hope and despair, wasn't it? Mm.
Oh, that's
holds up the poem where hope and fearfulness converge.
Convene, just so the rhyme scheme works.
Thank you.
So do we go back or do we keep going forward, you think?
I'm already walking towards the door.
Yes, Nugh has the right idea. I believe we're going to be facing a lot of interesting scenarios where we're fearful, and then we have to use our hope to show us the light, or something of that nature. Something magical about this tower here. Yes.
Yeah.
Lead the way, Nugh.
I open the door and walk through it.
You're all sitting in a beautiful, warm, sunlit kitchen. At the stove, a middle-aged human, is humming a tune you think you've heard before, but you just can't put your finger on it. You look around the room, and everything just seems a little bit bigger than it was before. She turns around and lays some pancakes down on your plates and ruffles your hair a little bit, Bartholomew. Mervon, she gives you a kiss on the head, and Nugh, she kind of pinches your cheeks and says, "Eat up, sweethearts. We've got a busy day today."
And she feels bigger than us.
Not as if she were a giant. This feels normal, like most people are bigger than you.
Okay.
The chair's a little like you can kick your feet and not touch the ground.
What's the food that is in front of us?
Pancakes.
Oh,
no syrup on the table.
I think Mervon loves this. I think he's immediately digging into the pancakes.
What are the rest of you doing?
I'm also going to eat a pancake, but I will do so while trying to reconcile reality here, because I have never been a different size than I am right now.
Good point.
I'm going to hold off reconciling reality because I've actually been in a memory like this where I become younger. And of course, when I become younger, I become smaller. So this is quite normal for me. I'm going to think this is just a nice memory or some kind of magic where something bad is going to happen. Let me go ahead and take a bite into those pancakes.
They are the most delicious pancakes you've ever had in your life. These were clearly made with love.
Delicious.
Now, what you said you wanted to reconcile reality? What did you roll?
I rolled a 5 and a 6.
Okay, on a 6, this doesn't seem right to you. In fact, Mervon and Bart, take off your headphones. I want to talk to Nugh for a second. Nugh, once you sort of look around and snap out of whatever this is a little bit, you see a 25, 30-year-old, dark brown-haired man in flowing blue robes kind of standing and watching you. When he realizes you're looking around and not looking at what he's showing you, he kind of looks at you and goes, Nugh, I can create anything in these worlds. I can create a world just for you. If you stay here, I can give you what you want. Just let Mervon and Bartholomew have this. I'm trying to give them the mother that they both want. Just don't ruin this for them, please. And he turns around and he walks through a door with the white light coming from behind it. Do you have any questions real quick?
No, I don't. What skill do I gain from this?
I need to make it more specific because if I keep letting you guys reconcile reality, you're just going to outroll me every single time.
I'm thinking some kind of, I don't know, piercing an illusion or doubt normal family life trappings. I don't know.
When you...
Skepticism.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to call it confront.
Okay.
Because that's kind of what happened just a little bit.
Yep. Absolutely.
So you two are just happily eating your pancakes.
Could use some syrup, though.
There's syrup on the table.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He
I
described
thought
that
you said
earlier.
there wasn't syrup on the table. Well, this is
you look over
splendid.
and to look for the syrup, and you see Mervon just pouring it directly in his mouth. He's just like chasing the pancakes with syrup.
There is a syrup for each of you. You can have as much syrup as you want.
I pull out a slate and I don't write anything on it just yet, but I just have it ready. I'm gonna observe my companions for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
They're eating pancakes. After a while, Mom comes over and asks, do you guys need anything else? Would you like some juice or some waffles or sausage or anything?
Oh, could I get a coffee?
You're a little young for coffee, but I guess I can give you like a little mocha, a little water it down with some chocolate milk. Does that sound tasty, honey?
It's not really doesn't really garner for any kind of sweetness right now. I'd much
I'll
prefer
take that,
my
though.
coffee black.
She brings Mervon a cup of a
Basically
mocha
chocolate milk.
and chocolate milk with a little bit of coffee in it. She kind of rolls her eyes and goes, "Okay, I guess you're growing up. You want to be a big boy. Here's your black coffee." And she gives that to you and goes, "So what do you guys want to do today? We can go to the playground. We can go to the library. What do you got? We have the whole day together and nothing to do."
Birthday.
That's a great idea, Nugh.
I suppose we'll see what happens. Yes,
I
let me
point at
down this coffee.
Bartholomew and say, beige birthday.
That seems a little boring, but sure.
No,
Whatever's gonna make you
I
happy.
I think Nugh is referring to me, my birthday.
Beige birthday.
Oh, gotcha.
As both of you get excited about this birthday, Mom starts clearing the table and you guys get up. Mervon and Bart, you get just a little bit lightheaded when you stand up. And both of you take one dice away from reconcile reality.
Ooh.
And this is about when Nugh writes on his slate as Mom is getting the birthday supplies out. Just one word, trap.
And Bartholomew winks at Nugh in a sign of understanding.
I'm going to say Mervon doesn't understand that and is grabbing pocket waffles. Like basically just trying to grab any food off the table to bring with him.
Okay.
Are you feeding any to the goblin?
Actually, that's a good question. GM, is the goblin there? The goblin pouch?
I'm going to say yes.
Oh, then absolutely. I'm feeding a waffle to the goblin pouch.
Am I the first person that's going to voice this goblin?
Yes.
100% you are. Congratulations.
All right. So when you lift your arm, you hear a voice go,
Oh my God, thank you so much. I've been trapped in there. Have you ever heard of deodorant?
"Whoo."
Also, Mom, where's my waffles?
And Mom's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart," and gives you some armpit waffles.
Nice.
I'm channeling my inner Harvey Firestein. Harvey Firestein, the esteemed Broadway star.
Yes. Okay, so we have, congratulations. We now have an established voice for the goblin pouch.
Love it. I love it so much.
Mervon looks over and goes, look, I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I thought we were going to be going to bed. I'll try to remember to use more deodorant. I know you've been bringing it up for a while now. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. Just a little consideration. That's all I ask for.
Look, and you are a hard-working goblin pouch. You're the hardest-working goblin pouch I know. And so I owe you that.
I appreciate it.
GM, I just reread the all of the 6 rules of Roll for Shoes, and I think I don't get confront because it's if you roll all 6s, and I rolled a 5 and a 6.
All
That's-
6s.
yeah.
Okay, so you only have
But
2.
I'll tell
then.
you
All right,
what. I'll tell you what. I'll keep confront and spend one of my XP to make the 5 into a 6 for advancement purposes. Is that cool?
That works. That works for
All
me.
right.
Okay, so you guys gonna let Mom dress you and get you ready to go for the day? Oh, Nugh, you can still see the thing we talked about when they had their headphones off, by the way.
I think
I will go stand sort of expectantly at a particular spot in the kitchen.
is it. I mean, I assume it's not anywhere that would look like out of place for you to be standing.
I hadn't decided where it would be. I'm gonna say yes, it is. She's standing like 3 feet to the left of the table where there's nothing else.
Has she returned
excuse
yet?
me.
Or he? Oh, no. Okay, I thought you were talking about the mom.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So
Yeah,
the
Nugh
mom
is standing conspicuously 3 feet away from the table.
So the mom hasn't returned yet. And I'm the size of a child, so I would like to attempt to hide in one of the cupboards.
Also, you guys notice that Nugh is not the size of a child anymore. Nugh is full-sized.
Ah, so it seems that Nugh is on the way to hope. And we're currently dealing with, not despair. What's the word?
Fearfulness. Fearfulness.
Fearfulness, thank you. So hope and fearfulness.
I think Mervin's just. This is too comfortable for him. I think he's like, oh, this is great. We're gonna have a birthday party. We're gonna, yeah, let's do this.
Bartholomew was hiding and going to attempt to hide in the cupboards. That would be a do anything, so let's see what I do. Oh, 5.
You hid very well. I did not beat your roll, so you are very well hidden, but no one's looking for you.
Oh, okay. I'd like to keep an eye on this trap that we're dealing with, whatever it is. But I'm not sure what Marvin's doing. Mervon.
Mervon, like I said, I think he's comfortable. This is his family is. He's kind of left his family from because it was not a happy place for him, and to have a caring mother who's like treating him like a loved child, I think is hard for him not to embrace.
Okay. So Mervon, you start to feel a little weak. Do you have any experience points on your character sheet?
I do. I have 2.
Go ahead and take those off. Take one of them off.
I know. Okay. That's not too bad. I think I need to sit down.
Bartholomew, how do you view yourself right now? Like, what do you look like in your head?
Last I saw myself, I was a child like I was in one of my memories. And I thought to myself, well, if Nugh believes this to be a trap, I should hide in one of the cupboards that are small enough to hide a small child. So I imagine myself to be a small child, actually.
So I will say, yeah, you feel a little lightheaded again as well. Do you have any experience points?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Do you have any other dice that you've succeeded on? Oh, take test. You can no longer take tests very well.
Oh, so take a test is, well, what was it at before?
Now it went away. Now it's do anything.
It went away. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I seem to have trouble being able to take tests. I'm afraid next time I do it, I'm going to fail, disappoint the teacher.
Well, how many roles do you have in Reconcile Reality? Are you down to 1? Like, is it just do anything now for you?
I've got 2 in Reconcile.
Okay, it's down.
Reality.
Instead of taking away the test one, take away the Reconcile Reality. Now it's a do anything. You don't have a specialization in reconciling reality anymore.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my word! What is going on? A child hiding in a cupboard.
Are you going to try to roll something to find out what's going on, or is that just a general question?
Oh, that was just me talking to myself. I'm watching in fear of what's going to happen to Mervon if he doesn't hide.
So Nugh gestures at Mervon like in a beckoning way.
Hops up, kind of, I think a little like disorientedly walks over, like, oh, what is it, Nugh?
I open the door, and as I put my hand on Mervin's back, I say, "Defenestrate," and I kind of push him towards the door. Now, I can't actually push him. I'm big and I am strong, and 800 pounds isn't that hard for me to lift, but Mervon is, if he's resisting, there's no way I'll move him. But I'm gonna.
But I don't think I am that right now because I'm a child, right?
You are a child, but are you resisting?
No, I don't think so. I have no reason to distrust Nugh.
Okay, Bartholomew, do you want to go with them, or do you want to stay hidden?
As I see Mervon being pushed through the door by Nugh, I'm a bit perturbed. I'm looking around for my mother, or whoever that, or whatever Nugh called it. Said it was a trap. So,
Beige.
Oh, okay. And I just run out of the cupboard and run as fast as I can towards the door.
Actually, the second you make the decision to go with her,
Him,
sorry, because it's voice, because him.
I know.
Okay, I'm trying really hard not to do that. I don't mean to misgender your character. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
You're standing in the center of a brightly colored village. As you stand there, a young girl comes over and grabs Nugh's hand and says, "Uncle Nugh, Mom said it's almost time for dinner. Come help me with my song until it's time to eat. You can bring your friends if you want." And she's pulling your arm to get you to come. Now, Nugh, I'm going to ask you a question. What would Nugh actually want to say in this situation? And also, what does Nugh sound like? Because you realize you could probably talk if you wanted to.
Okay, so if Nugh can speak, is he whole, or is he still a flesh golem stitched together? Like, I look down at my hands. Are they still gray?
What would you want them to be?
Oh.
I don't think Nugh thinks about that. So I think he would just be the same.
Then he's the same, but he can talk.
Okay. So I look at the little girl and I say, I don't have family.
Well, you're not real family, but Mom says you get to pick your family, and we picked you.
I follow the girl.
Oh, 100%.
As you're walking, a few passerbys tip their hat and, say, "Evening, Nugh." Nugh, you walk
Nugh.
by a house. You walk by a house. It's a cozy little house, and you feel like you know that house. That's your house. And one of your neighbors looks up, and it's Nightshade Nobo. He's tending his rock garden out front. He says, "Hey, Nugh, who are your friends?"
I gesture at Mervon and at first I don't say anything. Then I say, "Mervon, the stolid."
Ah,
Nice
and
to meet
the
you.
little one. Nice to meet you.
Bartholomew. First he calls you beige for 1 second. Then he says, "Bartholomew Salvador." In perfect diction. Absolutely perfect diction.
Did we notice, or can we hear Nugh speaking? Or is Nugh just going, "Hey,
You can hear Nugh speaking.
discern reality, discern reality, discern reality."
By the way,
Well, I don't
Nugh,
have it anymore, so I have to do anything.
you are going to lose 1 discern reality dice.
So that'll bring me down to 0.
Oh, then you're going to lose.
I have confront. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to lose confront. And you feel a little bit lightheaded for just a second.
The moment I heard the
Yeah.
GM say, "You're not actually family, we just choose family," I knew Nugh's thought process went kaput. That was it. It was like,
I'm
we
in.
lost Nugh.
Done. This is where I live now.
I would like to roll reconcile reality because as I'm taking this kid's hand and everything, I'm going to coincidentally catch a glimpse of the slate that says "trap" on it.
Okay.
And
Remind myself of what I saw earlier.
And I rolled to reconcile reality with my do anything dice, and I got a 6, so my reconcile reality is back.
Nugh should not be able to talk. And once you do that, you don't understand Nugh anymore. Everyone else still does, but you know Nugh should not be able to talk.
I say, look, I could hear you. It's amazing. You sound so eloquent, but no, it should.
Hold on, real quick. What did Nugh get?
3s.
3? Okay, this is still real to you.
Yep, got it.
But Nugh, you shouldn't be able to talk. At least I so desperately want to hear you talk. I heard your voice. It was beautiful.
Thank you. I work very hard to articulate and learn greater vocabulary to be a more well-read and well-rounded person, to which you hear.
And I would say Nugh can see kind of Bartholomew's expression go back that like heartbroken because now it's back to normal. And it's like, and your voice is gone. I'm sorry, Nugh.
But
I don't know if
I can understand myself perfectly.
Yeah, Bart, you may want to clear your ears. Like, Nugh sounds, I mean, honestly, probably more eloquent than anyone I've heard.
Thank you, Mervon. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome, and I'm now very conscious of how I sound. I'm not gonna lie. This is...
Oh, your voice is fantastic. I really love the timbre and the gravitas that your voice has. I must tell you, I've always admired it.
Can I, I want to say thank you, but I also want to know, what does gravitas mean?
Wait,
and I look at Mervon and I put my hand on Mervon's shoulder and I say, my friend, it means weightiness.
Oh, he's done. That he's like, this is definitely where I live now. This is good.
Bartholomew, although I've discerned that Nugh can't speak, and it makes sense that Nugh would just not just be able to speak, I heard his voice. And then I see that the two of them are having a conversation, and Nugh is pantomiming a conversation with Mervon, and Mervon is responding as though, and I don't even know what he's responding to, but he's responding as though it's a conversation. Something's odd. I'm not sure if I need to roll anything for this GM.
Or what are you trying to do?
I'm
want to
trying
try to roll
listen.
to understand Nugh?
Yes. Even though I've discerned that it can't speak. Is there something that I'm not... What would that be?
You're probably going to beat this. Just roll a 6-sided die. I'll tell you what it is if you succeed.
I've rolled a 4.
You rolled a 4. Okay.
Is there a dismiss reality skill?
No. Control reality.
Oh.
Interesting.
You know Nugh shouldn't be able to speak, but you can let yourself understand her.
Him.
Him. Write him on your name on my screen here.
So control of reality is something we can do. Well, I have to remember that in this
the role is called
anything.
Do anything.
Yes.
Mervon would
And
like to fly.
I think you're starting to figure out why I like this game system for the game I decided to play.
Yeah.
So Nugh can do anything, and so Nugh is going to take his voice out for a stroll and start reading his own poetry, just standing there in the middle of this little village square. I know the little kid wants me to go and help her with her song, but I can't help it. I have never been able to recite my own poetry, so I am going to.
Okay. Before you do that, as you start to walk away, Nightshade Lobo says, they're waiting for you over at Nell's house. Whenever you're ready to go over there, I think Edward said he was going to stop by to talk to you in a little bit. But I'll let everybody know you're reciting your poetry. They'll be real excited to hear it. And he runs off and starts knocking on people's door like, Nugg's going to recite his poetry. Nugg's reciting poetry. And people are coming out and they're real excited to hear your poetry.
I'm going to do it.
Oh,
Mervon, do you actually have a poem, or do you just want to roll to
poem?
There once was a flesh golem from Nantucket.
If you give me a minute, I might be able to find it. Hold on. There's I have a poem from when we did the solo episode. Hold up. 1 second.
I think Mervon sits down like, crisscross applesauce on the ground. The little kid that's with us, maybe she's sitting on his lap, just, I think, enwrapped by what is happening. Like, just, this is wonderful.
Okay. This is a little doggerel that I wrote a long time ago. The market man has no ideation that the barrels of libation he delivers aren't for consumption, but to ward up fleshly corruption. The rot and stink of gangrene eats away at child, man, and teen. Do we know why or what treatment shall save a limb? Solely spirit.
There's a smattering of applause, and people sit and some seem to be just contemplating on the deepness of it. What other roles do you have, Nugh?
I have do anything, investigate, and reconcile reality. So I think this is a do anything. But
go ahead and roll a do anything, but you're also going to lose reconcile reality.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I rolled a 3. So I don't know if I recite my poetry well, but I'm going to use my XP because I really want recite poetry as a skill.
Oh,
if that's okay.
You succeed. I'm not going to let you have that skill.
Oh.
I'll say I'll give it to you anyway, but you don't get the points for it. You don't have to spend the XP. You succeed.
Well, it wasn't a 6. It was a 3. So
I know.
Okay.
You recited it so well. I'm giving it to you for free.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody gets up and goes back to their house. The young girl that talked before was like, "Come on, dinner's almost ready and I need your help." And she runs into one of the houses.
But I don't know how to cook, I say as I'm following her.
Mommy's cooking. You just have to eat and help me with my song.
Mervon's scooping up a little girl to walk toward the house. He heard eat and he's like, "Let's go."
He's there.
Mervon, do you have any roles left?
Reconcile reality.
Left? You lose
reconcile reality. That 100% makes sense. That should go away.
Bartholomew would approach Nugh and take a bow to Nugh and say, "That was splendidly wonderful hearing you recite that. But I still don't believe you can talk. It must be some mysterious magic happening within this tower. Did you hear that Nell is somewhere further beyond?"
I nod. And I look at the little girl, and I look at the house, and I look at you.
Nugh, you have my word. I know this is our first adventure together, but mark my words, I will make sure you get a voice. You've inspired me to help you with this, and hearing your poetry means the world to a poet like myself.
Nugh puts his hand on your shoulder and says, "Beige."
I'm so glad you chose beige. When I heard beige, I'm like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. I don't know if the audience heard before we started the episode. Nugh was deciding what 3 words to come up with, and Nugh came up with beige.
I think actually Mervon suggested beige, didn't he?
No,
GM
that was the
I
GM.
came up with, because we had
Mervon
defenestrate
gave-
and birthday,
Yeah.
and I just wanted the most neutral word ever,
Yeah.
and beige is the most neutral.
Beige is good.
It's great because, I have part of my clothing is beige. I have beige pants, so.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Nugh. Are you trying to disbelieve that this is real then, since you're grunting again?
That was because I was talking with Bartholomew, but
he can understand you. He can. He
can?
willingly
Okay.
understands you.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. Then I thought that for some reason I thought that he still couldn't understand me. So
That was one of his when he tried to do it. I gave him what was it? What's the skill? What did I call it?
Control reality.
control reality.
Control reality.
Yeah.
Control.
I didn't
let's
get
let's
it.
change it to
I didn't-
manipulate reality. I feel like that's a better descriptor.
But I didn't technically get the skill. That was just what I was rolling for.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I didn't roll a 6. I rolled a
Okay.
5.
That's right. So you don't have that skill then. But I'll still say
But
you,
that's
because
what I'm
you
trying to
willingly
do.
chose to hear.
I'm sort of. Should I try to manipulate reality again? Trying to bring Nugh back into reality? Or is that more of Nugh has to decide?
Does Nugh want to be brought back to reality?
Well, now see that's the problem. Yeah.
I'm going to have to roll for it. Okay.
But
I did
yeah.
put my heart out to
I do
reinforce
feel,
to Nugh
yeah, since Bartholomew said that he would, try to help Nugh get his voice. I think that's meaningful. I don't.
I rolled a 3, GM. So
Yeah.
Well, it's actually going to be if Nugh. So Nugh wants to do it or does not.
Well, the thing is, Nugh wants reality more than he wants the fantasy. And
Well, right now to you, this is
this
real.
is reality. I know.
Right.
I know. So
You
I don't
bought into it. If you want to,
I don't
if you
think
want
he's
to
got
try,
the cognitive dissonance, but I'd be willing to try to maybe.
It's going to be a contested roll then. So if you beat his 3, you are bought into this. If you don't, he's going to snap you out of it.
Okay. Can I use? Is this just do anything, or can I use investigate?
I will let you use whichever one you want.
Well, as a player, to move the story forward, I probably should lose this roll, so I'm going to just use do anything. I got a 2.
okay, I was able to.
He's bought in.
Nugh.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
So he snaps out of it a little bit and realizes he can't talk. So now, Nugh, you realize you can't talk, so you can't talk anymore because you've bought in to the idea that you can't talk.
So I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, beige.
Yes, I promise you, we'll see.
Heartbroken.
Aw. I clasp him on the back and I say, "We'll get your voice back. I promise you."
You guys see a middle-aged man with brown hair and flowing blue robes with gold stars on them walk into Nell's house.
I point at him and I say, defenestration. And I
Yes.
like elbow Mervon, defenestration, and start moving towards the guy.
GM, you said brown hair, and what was some other?
Middle-aged, flowing blue robes with silver stars on them.
All right. Yes, I'm heading to where that middle-aged man with the blue robes is heading.
What are they serving? I have to
It
say, whether
smells
he's going
delicious.
Look, I'm not going to lie. Mervin's food motivated. I think he's not necessarily going to just willingly go.
No,
So you're following him into the house?
Yeah.
I thought Mervon went into the house with where
so
they're making
Mervin's
Yeah.
already in there then.
food.
You
Yeah.
see him walk in. You guys both see him walk into the house. You see him as he comes into the house. And then I suppose, are you guys following him or?
we were
They're all
about
going to the same house.
Mervon is in the house that the guy in the robes came into, and Bartholomew's following him into that house.
Yeah, okay.
It's Nell's
I'll
house.
follow.
Oh, we're all going into the house. Okay,
Okay.
I misunderstood. I
so-
thought Mervon went to a different house.
same.
No, that was my fault. I apologize. That's Nell's house that's cooking you guys dinner.
Oh, okay, great.
So it's a cozy little house. A motherly woman stands at the stove humming a tune that you feel like you should know, but you just can't put your finger on it. This woman looks pretty familiar. She's the same woman from before. His name is there's a young girl named Sarah. That's the girl who pulled you in, sitting at the table. She's writing lyrics for a song, and the lyrics read, "A journey through the realm unseen, where hope and fearfulness convene. Through the night, find your way to where the light holds endless sway." You might recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
So as you guys walk in, and Merv, what you see is the middle-aged man with brown hair. He sort of looks around and waves his hand, and everything freezes except the three of you. He goes, "Hello, adventurers. My name is Edward Nod. I see you've come into my realm. Welcome. I love to get visitors here. I've created this world for you all that you can have anything you want. Nugh, I know you gave up your voice, but as long as you stay here, I can give you your voice back. I can let you live in this world. Bartholomew, Mervon, if you let me, I could make worlds for you I can give you what you want. That's the magic of dreams."
Mervin hugs him. Like he is hearing, he's hearing this, like he's seen family. He's seen people being happy and not and not manipulate. Well, he sees it as not manipulated. I don't think he realizes that this is all basically a giant manipulation, and I think he actually understands the motivation.
Okay. When you go to hug him, what extra rolls or XP do you have left?
Just 1 XP.
Okay, you've lost that XP now.
Gotcha.
And again, when you hug him, you feel weak for a second, and he kind of holds you up and then walks you over to the table and sits you down. He goes, I know it can be a bit much at the beginning, but what it is your mind's fighting me. If you just let me, I can give you the world that you want. But you have to stay here. You can't keep coming in. You have to stay here. He waves his hand and gives you your voice back again, Nugh, and goes, see the power I wield in here. Oh, also, Mervon, when you hug him, you notice his hair gets a little thicker. He seems to de-age just a little bit.
So, Nugh is going to erase the word trap on his slate and write something else. And he holds it up and it just says, false hope.
Bartholomew will see this and consider what this Edward of Nod is saying, and notice the name Nod. And he inquires, excuse me, we're here on a mission to rescue a Nell of Nod from a tower from his son. You wouldn't happen to be him, would you?
When you roll, do you still have investigation? Does anyone still have investigation?
Yes, I do.
I do.
Okay. Roll an investigation roll, both of you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got a 6 and a 5.
I got a 1 and a 3.
So you are very good at investigating now. Oh no, you need 2 6s.
Right.
But you do notice when you say Nell's name, a look of pain kind of goes across his face. And he glances back at the woman at the stove and then steels himself again and goes, yes, Nell is here. She's in the dream. She's still figuring things out.
Did I succeed on that with my 3?
No, you did not.
Okay.
But she's safe. She needs to be reminded that she wants to be here every so often.
What do you mean by be reminded? It seems being...
Sort of like your friend Nod doesn't want to be here for right now, but if he lived here for a day or two, he'd see this is his desire. He'll get to live here as long as he wants. He can have everything he wants. What is reality but what our minds tell us it is? In a dream, we can control our own reality.
Nugh has written a new thing on the slate. It says prison.
When isn't a
Mervon-
physical body
Oh, go on,
isn't a
GM.
physical body nothing but a prison? Our minds are the only truly free part of us, and I've given you a place that your mind can be ultimately free. What is a physical body? It's nothing but a vehicle for your mind. And here you don't even need that vehicle. Your mind can do anything.
When Mervon heard the statement of like that, basically your perception is reality and that you can control this, I think Mervon remembers Blanche and that she's not there and that the last thing he could ever do is control her, and would he want, and he wouldn't even want to. So I don't know if this is going to basically I'm going to try to, Mervon's going to try to remember what his true reality is.
Okay, roll a 6-sided die.
Oh no, that's a 1.
I got a 4, so you start to remember that you had a past before here. And have you ever tried to remember a dream after you wake up, and the harder you try to remember it, the more it slips through your fingers?
Yep.
The real world is slipping through your fingers, and you are buying into this.
Oh, that hurts. Yep. I think
If you ask your friend Mervon, he clearly understands. Talk to him. He'll tell you that this is the best thing you could possibly imagine.
you see Mervon sit down and start humming the tune that he heard.
GM, I have a question. You said Edward of Nod. There are 2 characters I'm thinking of, Edward of Nod and Nell of Nod. Did you mention there was Edward of Nod mentioned a character called Nod? Was that referring to
That's just
Nugh, or is that just
his last name is Nod.
okay?
I don't. If I did refer to a person named Nod, it was referring to himself.
Okay.
People know him as Nod, sort of like the wizard Nod.
Okay, got it. Just okay. I misunderstood something. Now I understand. Got it. Well, I'm inclined to believe what Nugh is saying, that this is a trap and it's a prison of some sort within our heads, and it doesn't sit right with Bartholomew because we're here, but our friends and family and loved ones are outside of this dream. And who's to say that we can control it if we can control it now, but who's to say that this Edward of Nod couldn't control it, on a whim, or take control of us at any given moment. This is him thinking thinking inside his head, not speaking aloud. So
Internal monologue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he says to, I was going to speak because Bartholomew comes up with an idea. He says, yes, well, if we can all control reality, what's to say that you can't just take control of us at any moment? Do we all of us have equal control of ourselves, including you?
If I could take control of you, I would just take control of you and make you live here. Clearly, I can't, or I would do it.
Well, that seems...
Nugh gives him this side eye.
yeah. The way you said that seems rather concerned. I know what he means. He wants to give us happiness. He wants to force it on us, but he can't because something's preventing it.
Think of a parent trying to solve the problem of their children, and if they would just go to bed, he knows they would feel better. That everything would be all right if they could just go to sleep. I'm trying to give that to you. I know you can have happiness in here, and I have to go. So I will let you speak among yourselves, and I hope you decide to do what's best. And with that, he turns and walks through a doorway with light around it.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to investigate the woman who I think is Nell.
Okay. What are you just trying to look at her? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to is she still frozen?
The second he left, everything went back to normal and people are
Okay.
moving again. Sarah starts writing and drawing and whatever.
Yeah, so I'm basically going to like look her over, see if she's healthy, well. Does she have the panicked look in her eyes? Blink twice if you're not okay, that kind of thing.
She seems perfectly fine.
Oh, I don't even roll for this?
Sorry, I thought you did roll for it. Never mind. I already rolled mine and I got a 1, so you're going to beat it no matter what. So roll to see if you get a 6.
I got a 1 and a 5, so.
Okay. So she seems perfectly fine. Yeah, you didn't roll well enough to give you that insight. But yeah, she seems perfectly fine. Nothing's wrong. In fact, when you go over and look at her, she goes, "Oh, Nugh, what are you looking at? You sit down at the table, help Sarah with her song, and dinner will be ready in about 5 minutes."
I nod at her.
She smiles warmly and goes back to cooking.
I sit next to Sarah and I start helping with the song, but every time that there's a line or something, I put something in there about being trapped, or there's a prison, or there's illusions or falseness.
Okay, so you're not buying into it anymore.
I'm not. I'm resisting in the way that I can.
Roll a 6-sided die.
A 6-sided die, you said?
Yes.
I got a 6.
Okay. We're going to call this resist. So now anytime you want to resist Edward Nod's magic in any way, shape, or form, you will get to. And sort of like how it happened before in the classroom, the room gets ephemeral again, and you can see the door that Edward walked through. And the light is brighter behind this door again. What do you all want to do?
I was thinking about what he said about how we can control our own realities and what have you in this realm of dreams. Perhaps we should try to ascend this tower and rescue Nell of Nod, as the paper said. Or do you think the paper was written by Edward of Nod to lure us here? I'm going to assume the latter, that it was a lure to get us to get us in here. Now we need to find a way out. However, Mervon, how are you feeling about all of this?
I think Mervon is probably helping cook dinner. I think he's to some extent bought in. The starting to lose the memory, particularly of his wife, creates a much weaker tether to reality. And there was something else that Nod said that I think really, and GM, you can tell me if there's a role for this or not. He made the comment of like, he's like a parent and he knows basically if they just go to sleep, it'll be better. That taps into Mervyn's past, particularly with his father trying to control his life. I don't.
Okay, I will let you roll resist.
Mechanically. Okay.
The same thing she got. So roll a d6.
Okay. 4.
Okay, you beat my 3. So you don't get a specialization in it because you didn't get a 6. But Mark, it's not exactly an XP. We'll call it an HP. You pull. Actually, we'll call it a no. Yeah, we'll call it an HP. You pull a little bit out and realize you remember that with your dad, that a parent being in control isn't always a good thing. And so you're not quite as bought in as you were. Like
trying to reconcile the free will versus the we've all kind of tried to look out for other people. So it's that dichotomy of that moment.
He wants to help, but is he actually helping me in doing this? When my dad tried to control me, it wasn't helpful. And, that's kind of going around in your head right now.
Gotcha.
I go stand next to the door like I did before and wait.
Bartholomew is seeing Mervyn's expression changing and as he's contemplating something deep. And he asks him, Mervyn, are you feeling any different? Do you need help remembering anything about yourself? We're the fire-breathing kittens, don't you remember? We're here to help, or assumedly help, Nell of Nod.
You say that, and you see Mervyn for like it kind of his eyes clear a little bit, and he's like, "Wait, we have someone we got to help. That's that. No, you're right. We've got to do something. And GM, do I need to roll like a fortitude or whatever, or I'm doing anything?
I mean, you can. What would you like to do? Because again, it's do anything. So if you willingly go with them, I assume you are playing your character the way it would be played. Yeah. So I will let you willingly choose to go. But if you want thematically to have that internal struggle, you can roll for it. I'll leave it up to you.
Okay. I think just for your information where he's coming from, and you can decide what you want to do with it if it's useful later. He's understanding the joy it brings him, but also understanding that someone else maybe feels trapped in it. And so this is not his giving like breaking away from it. It's his recognition that somebody else may need to.
Okay, so then my question is, are you willingly going with them, or do you want to stay here and live in this village with these people?
I'm willingly going from the perspective of there's somebody I think needs our help. Okay.
Then none of you have to roll. You all get through, and Bartholomew and Mervon roll a d6 and tell me which one of you is higher.
3.
Rock, paper, scissors. Roll again.
Wait, okay, yeah. 4.
All right, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by its tail. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. All right, Mervon. So the second Nugh touches this door, you are standing outside a very familiar door. Blanche is standing next to you. You guys are holding hands. Mervon, what does your childhood home look like?
It's honestly it's a fortress. Not like a fortress. It's a fort. It's a stone fort. His father is a general. He was raised in that military environment, so he grew up in this cold stone structure. You see it is on the outside. It's got the scars of weapon attacks against it, attempted invasions. You see banners and tapestries that have been embroidered that represent his father's victories and his family's lineage. But you see a few things every now and then that are like a a picture that he drew as a child that his mother has hung up on the wall next to these battle, like these hard-won like trophies of battle. His mother did her best to make it warm, but his father didn't see the value in that.
Okay. So that is where you are standing, and this is a good place for our break. So we have been joined by Mervon,
Great to be here, thanks.
Bartholomew,
Yes, I cannot wait to get out of this strange dream prison.
and Nugh. Nugh.
Well said.
Quite. And also, before we go on our break, we currently don't have any reviews, but if you leave one, we'll read it on air like this. CC the Pizza Girl comments, "My favorite character is Bartholomew, the sad, sad man." Oh, that's the review. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you after the break.
Today's mid-episode shout-out is, quote, "Special shout-out to my friend of 41 years, Amir, for the lifelong bond and adventures we've shared. You are family to me." End quote. Thank you for supporting our podcast by buying a shout-out. Everyone, you can arrange for us to read your shout-out at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com. We also sell paperback and audiobook adaptations of our adventures on Amazon and Audible. Or you can support us by thinking of someone you know who might enjoy Fire Breathing Kittens and suggesting an episode that you think might make them smile. Thanks.
Welcome back to Fire Breathing Kittens. We are once again joined by Mervon,
I hope we get this figured out. It's a little creepy in here.
Nugh, and Bartholomew.
Yes, I'm ready to get back into this horrifying dreamscape. But before that, let's have a bit of a recap. At the beginning of our adventure, we started in the FBK Guild Hall. It was a stormy night, and we were all relaxing, and then all of a sudden, a letter slipped through the crack of the door into the guild hall, and it read, "A journey through the realm unseen, where hope and fearfulness convene. Through the night, find your way to where the light holds endless sway." And it was from written by Nell of Nod, who said that their son had trapped them away in a tower. And so, with that, without any idea of who was supposed to be addressed to, the three of us decided to go and investigate this tower. But once we got to the tower, things were off. We couldn't understand, but it was daytime and light was brightly shining off the white tower, and we couldn't recall there being a tower in the middle of Nikamoy. We entered into the tower, and it's a long corridor with many doors. One of them was illuminated with light. We went in through that door and came into a classroom where a teacher was handing out tests to everyone, including us. Asked us to take those tests, and after a couple of us failed, I was able to pass it and was asked to go up to the front of the classroom and read it aloud, my test results. I noticed I didn't have pants on at the moment. And once I realized how this didn't make any sense, my pants appeared again, and my companions happened to notice that as well. So it's very strange. Then we went through another door and came across some middle-aged woman who appeared to be a mother making us breakfast and giving us pancakes. And as we were all enjoying it, Nugh happened to see something. I'm not sure what Nugh saw, but after doing so, we all sort of broke out of the spell and were able to make it to another room, went outside to celebrate a birthday, and all of a sudden Nugh was able to talk and read some poetry to us. And after realizing it was some kind of strange magic that was doing this, I made a promise to Nugh that we would be able to give him his real voice and not this strange fake voice. And then we ran into Edward of Nod, who is the son of Nell of Nod. And this Edward of Nod, who was draped in these blue wizard robes was telling us that this whole place is a dreamscape that he put into perspective for us to control our dreams, and it would be a wonderful reality. But we were skeptical and didn't really know what to think about this. And he left us to think on this and told us we should believe in him and just submit to the dream. But we decided to go against that, and now we're on our way to find him and deal with the situation we're in.
All right, and we left off. We were standing at the front door of Mervyn's childhood home. He's holding Blanche's hand. To change a couple of the details that you mentioned, there's not battlements flying over it anymore. It's actually flags that say "Welcome Home, Mervyn." The damage has been fixed. It seems a bit warmer now. There's some more homey touches to it. It's still recognizable as your family's home, but there's definitely... It's more like you would like to see it. What would you like to do?
I think Mervyn just instinctually opens the door and the front door and goes in and maybe yells out for his mom and I think hesitantly his father, but not like he's almost hoping his dad's not there.
Okay. As you come inside, you hear your mom calling from the kitchen that she's like, Mervyn, you're here? Oh my goodness, come on back, boy.
Oh, as fast as he can run toward the kitchen.
Your mom is standing there cooking at the stove. She's humming a tune that you feel like you should remember, but you just can't put your finger on it. She turns around and says, "Oh, happy birthday. We're so glad you're here. Oh, and this must be your beautiful wife. I am so glad you finally brought her. I've been wanting to have you here forever. Oh, Mervyn, your brothers are going to be so happy you're here. Your father couldn't make it. I know that's not a big deal for you, but he sends his love. But you all just make yourselves at home for a minute. I'm going to go get your brothers." And she scurries off.
Is Blanche there next to him?
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's, no, I'm even going to say, I was going to say, I wonder, like, does he recognize that she wasn't there? But I 100% wouldn't even thought about it. So I ignored that. I sit down at the table and just turn to Blanche and like, I'm so glad you finally get to meet my mom. She's an incredible woman. And while I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of glad you're not getting to meet my dad. He can be a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, and I don't want you to have to go through that.
What are the rest of you doing during this?
We're not there, are we? We're somewhere.
Yes, you are. You all...
Oh.
You were standing there when Mervyn was there. You were all there. Sorry, I didn't make that clear.
Okay. Is this where we ended up when we entered through the next door?
Yeah.
Yep, the second the door opened,
see.
you were all standing in front of Mervyn's childhood home.
I see. Okay.
So I write on the slate, I'm Nugh, and just hold it up to Blanche and hold my hand out.
She's very pleased to meet you. She shakes your hand and well, I guess not welcomes you, not at her house, but she's like, "Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Blanche Svelte. I'm Mervyn's husband, our wife. Mervyn is my husband."
And
I look at Mervyn for a second, and then I erase the slate and I write, "Good job," and hold it up to Mervyn.
Mervyn takes that as a desire for a high five and high fives your slate.
And my name is Bartholomew Salvador. I'm a poet and a cavalry marksman. Here, you can have this free of charge. This is a copy of my my magazine, The Inspirer.
Thank you. While you are all doing that, you hear trumpets and fanfare sounding. Not like you're under attack, but like excited fanfare. And Mervyn, you realize it's the fanfare that happens when your dad comes home.
You visibly see his shoulders kind of sink At first, you see the tenseness set in when he hears it, and then it's just this, like, it's the physical embodiment of just a sigh of disappointment. Turning to Blanche and says, "Well, I guess you are meeting him today. I'm sorry." Preemptively apologizing for whatever.
So while you're doing that, you hear your dad's voice booming from the entry hall. Mervon! Mervon, are you here, my boy?
Yes, sir. I'm in the kitchen.
Looking around. He comes barreling in and just picks you up and gives you the biggest hug. He goes, Mervon, we've missed you so much. Is this the Blanche I heard so much about? Blanche, so great to see you. And he picks her up and gives her a hug. And he is, because I was out on campaign, but once your mother sent a letter saying you were on your way, I had to come back.
Mervon, for a moment, you see just a smile like maybe you haven't seen on him yet. It's the fact that his father is embracing him like this and so joyous to see him and his wife is, I think, emotionally just the most uplifting thing you can imagine. But I think he immediately has that recognition of, oh, this isn't right. My father's never behaved this way.
Let's roll for it.
That's a 4?
That is a 6. So you believe it.
And I think what happens is maybe he just kind of forces it out of his mind even.
So no, what happens is you start to look like that and your dad, you see him deflate a little bit and he goes, Mervon, I know I was hard on you as a child and perhaps I didn't show you the love that I should have, but I saw such potential in you that I thought it was, if you pound the rock, you'll get the diamond underneath. And, I understand that wasn't the way to make you your best. And, obviously your beautiful wife, Blanche, here has found it's through love and tenderness. That's the way to reach you, Mervon. And I want to say I'm sorry for a hard childhood. I wasn't the father to you I should have been. And I hope one day you can forgive me, but today is the day I start being the dad that you deserve.
So Mervon is small compared to his father. He's...
No, you're not.
Oh,
you're actually about 2 inches taller than he is now. You don't know if he's grown or he's shrunk, but he's still a hefty man, so he can pick you up, but he's actually a little shorter than you.
You see, in that case, it's even more jarring, I think, to see Mervon shrink down, almost like emotionally shrink down into this almost childlike form and just bear hugs his father. You see him with all his weight on his father, even maybe a tear rolling down his cheek as he's hugging his father, and just says, it's thank you, Father. And he can't even come up with the words beyond that.
Do you have any more rolls or experience points left?
I have just an HP point.
Okay, you've lost that now.
Yeah.
Bartholomew and Nugh, what are you going to do seeing Mervon do this?
I don't know Mervon very well, but I do know problematic relationship with your creator. I would like to see if I can figure out if Edward's in this room, and if so, who is he?
Okay, what would you like to roll? Piercing the veil? Okay. What'd you get? Did you roll high? Because I did.
I got a 2 and a 5.
Okay, tie goes to the runner. I got a 5. So you see, let me read you the description I have written. You notice a slightly older man with thinning brown hair and pale skin, dressed in flowing blue robe, standing in the corner. He's not...
Do I see a door yet?
That was not what you were looking for.
That's true. I was not. Fair enough. Okay.
So Edward of Nod is in this room. He is not disguised as anybody. He's watching.
Okay. I nudge Bartholomew and I say, beige. And then I point to the corner.
Oh, it's him.
You have to roll for it too. He is magically hidden.
Investigate. 2 6s.
Okay, so now you have 3 in investigate, and you see him, and I will say with 2 6s, you see the door.
Ooh, okay. Oh, wait a sec. I think the way the rules work is that I succeed, and when I roll 2 6s, I don't increase investigate. I can make a new skill.
The way I read
Which
it
is-
is you get better at the things you keep doing.
Oh, maybe that.
Do you-
maybe- no, that
I mean,
makes
it
sense.
says if you roll all 6s, you get a new skill specific to the action, one level higher
Yeah.
than the
Oh,
one you used.
specifically.
Specific to the action. So now I'm going to say this: when you are specifically looking for Edward of Nod, you will get 3 dice.
Edward spotting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Edwards. We'll call it Edward spotting. That's good.
Terrible movie, though.
It is. It's true.
Okay, and I also see the door. So
Yes.
we have to convince, once again, Mervon to let go of this wonderful reality that he's experiencing. He looks over at Mervon with a single tear shed from hugging his father, who's been looking to get this kind of emotional support from, and we need to convince him to leave this reality and head with us through another door. This is going to be rather
Defenestration?
difficult. Yes.
As you guys are talking about this, Mervin's brothers come into the room, and they're a rough and tumble bunch, and you realize Mervin's a few inches taller than all of them. The biggest one in the group walks up to Mervin and says, "Hey, bro, you want to wrestle?"
Oh, could I do something, GM? Could I control a
you'd
reality
like
and
to.
say that this rough and tumble brother is actually a spy disguised as his brother?
You can
And
certainly
is
roll for it.
attacking? Yes.
You're not going to have a
Do
hard time.
anything. A 6.
So now you do have control reality back as one of your skills. So Mervin, as this guy is approaching you, Bartholomew, tell me exactly what you want to turn his brother into, because you succeeded on the roll.
It appears to be his brother, but he's wearing one of those shielded helmets with the visors and is pretending to be his brother, but it's actually an imposter hippo person in disguise.
So
And
Mervin
is actually,
realizes
and is
that-
actually trying to attack Mervin and disrupt this welcoming home party.
Okay, Mervin, you heard that. This guy is pretending to be your brother, and he's going to attack you. What are you going to do?
Oh, the same thing he would have done with his brother. This was going to be he's going to wrestle him. I mean, only this time it's a little more malicious. He's going to get him under
Okay.
control.
Let's roll for it.
Oh, Mervin's slight build may be coming back to haunt him.
Unless you got a 2 or below. Actually,
got
unless
it.
you rolled a 1, because
Oh,
I rolled a 2, so 2 would go to you.
okay. So it's a 2. So it isn't easy.
Okay, so it's a close fight. You guys see him stumbling around the kitchen, and finally Mervin gets the upper hand. And would you try to kill him? You've got him in a death grip where you could break his neck. What do you want to do to him?
No, I think Mervin, one of the things that he abhorred about his past, his family's past, was this violence. So he's got him under control. He's more going to control him and question him, like, what are you doing here? How dare you encroach on our family home like this?
You guys can still see Edward in the corner, and you see him kind of concentrate a little bit. And Bartholomew, I'm going to need you to roll a contested roll against me here.
Control reality?
Yep.
Ooh. Well,
Just
I
two
won
people
because I
playing
rolled
God.
a 6. I rolled a 6 and a 3.
Okay. I rolled a 5, so you feel like somebody is reaching, trying to grab your control away from the assassin. And you focus really hard, and you are still in control. And what would the assassin say to Mervin's question?
You're a fool. We're here to assassinate you. Me and the rest of us. And he directs the rest of us towards his father.
Are you trying to control the father now, or are you
Yeah,
just...
the father is actually
accusing him?
also an assassin.
Okay, you're going to have to roll for that again if you're trying to turn him into assassin as well.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'd like to keep observing Edward because I am trying to niggle out something that that we observed earlier, which is that the more that The more that someone succumbs or resists, it seems to make Edward stronger or weaker. So I'm just
Okay.
trying to observe that for a moment.
Roll an investigation roll for me.
I got a 6 and a 4, and I'd like to spend a
Hey, me
XP
too.
to make my 4 into a 6 so I can get another skill on that.
And GM,
So
I
now
rolled
you will
earlier,
get-
and I rolled a 6 and a 4.
Sweet.
Okay. You are going to get
Edward spotting?
Edward noticing power. Not Edward spotting, because you have to see him first. But you know him well enough now that you can see the slight changes in him. And sure enough, as he is trying to exert control on this room, you see him, it is visibly tiring him. And from when you walked in, when Mervon hugged his father, you saw him stand up a little straighter and seems he could breathe a little easier.
I like the
So
Edward Citrus
Bartholomew-
skill tree.
Yeah.
I like that this is a
That's a good one. So with that, once you wrestle control of the father out of Edward's hands, he waves his hands and everything freezes. And now all of you can see him. Mervon, roll a 6-sided die against me.
6.
Okay. I'm going to give you a skill in resisting Edward's magic.
Okay.
Ooh.
Because you felt for a second that you should freeze like the rest of the dream. You started to stop in place, and you're like, wait a minute, I don't have to do that.
Gotcha. I like that he's just like, oh, wait, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, I got you. So Edward freezes the dream and steps forward, and he goes, Mervon, this is what you want. These people are trying to stop you from living the life you dreamed of. The life you always wanted could be yours. Just tell them to go on without you. We'll rewind as if this never happened, and you can live the life you wanted. Your father's love is here for you to take.
For a moment, you see you see Mervyn's face kind of soften, thinking about that relationship that he doesn't have with his father and how it felt in that moment. And then, even though, like I said, you didn't see Mervyn smile large, like big toothy grins or anything like that, you found him to be, like, I think generally a pleasant person. But that shifts suddenly. His eyes harden as he looks at Edward and looks over at this image of his family, and then this image of Blanche. And that's the one that hits him. And he turns to Edward and starts walking toward him and just says, "How dare you do this to her?" And he's going to shove Edward against the wall, like try to pin him, basically lift him to the wall and pin him.
Okay. When you try to touch him, your hands go right through him.
I think he then flails wildly at the figure of Edward. Like he's angry. It's not going to be rational at this point.
Can I try to control reality?
Okay. Edward, yes.
I mean, it's a do anything because I don't have anything in this, but I want to make it so that Edward is going to actually get hit by Mervyn.
Okay.
Give Edward physical form for just a split second.
So now we're in the Edward solidifying stage of the game.
But I rolled a
What did you
2.
get? I rolled a 5.
Yeah.
So Edward takes a deep breath and goes, "You all are trying my patience. If you don't want to live in this world, that's fine. Then just stay where you are, but don't come any further." And he turns around, he storms through the door.
I'm going right through it after him.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, same.
Yeah. Yep.
In fact, GM, can I make a roll to, what would this be? I guess this would be control of reality. I'd like to summon my horse, Alistar, but I'd like it to be a long horse. and
Yes, you
a
can-
strong horse that can support an 800-pound hippo.
A stretch horse, if you will.
The wiener dog of
Yeah,
horses.
go ahead and roll. There you go. What'd you
I
get?
rolled 2 1s.
Oh,
Well, nothing bad happens on 2-1s, but you certainly don't summon Alistair. But what does happen?
Oh, I get an experience
What's the name
point.
of your?
I
There
get
you
an experience
go.
point.
Yeah. Oh, have you guys been marking those
Oh,
for when you
yes.
fail? Because I forgot to remind you. Okay, good, because
I got an
kind of
experience
forgotten
point
about
once
that.
before and then immediately spent it and then regretted spending it because I never failed again. And I really
I'm on,
wanted
like-
to use it.
Well, I've taken some things from you too.
Yeah.
so-
Oh, yeah.
I have 3 and I've lost several and spent a few, so I think I'm on like my 6th
yeah.
XP at this point.
Okay. So the second you open the door, you are in the burning wreckage of Pine Drake. There are screams coming from all over. The undead have overrun the walls. Bartholomew, you actually look up and see the zombie of your father eating Alistair.
Wow, that escalated quickly. We're not
what
having
zombies
good
do.
dreams anymore, are we?
Nope.
I had more good dreams planned, but once you went violent,
Yeah. GM, I would like to discern reality.
you are welcome to do that.
Okay, I got a 5 and a 2.
I got a 6.
So this is real.
This is real for you.
This is real.
This is real for you. Yep.
I'm not going to actively shout out what Bartholomew is saying because I'd probably blow everyone's eardrums out, but he starts looking around, panicking, and starts shouting orders and directions to his compatriots or in the town that he thinks are
You
there.
look around, you're the only one. Your men are dead. The town is overrun. The defenses are in chaos.
Are we here?
This is your worst nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
You're all there.
This is his worst nightmare. This is the fall of Pine Drake. They've overrun.
And in
This is
fact, the few people that you do see look at you with hatred and scream that this is your fault
for leaving the town and not returning. And
for leaving the town. This is, you abandoned us. Why did you abandon us?
Oh. So Mervon, I thought you had a heart.
yeah. Nope, you win.
I walk over to Bartholomew. Can I resist this? Like this
Yeah, you can roll for it.
this isn't my nightmare, so
It's not your nightmare.
in fact,
That's true.
The Walking Dead, like
Ooh,
hi.
You're gonna beat me unless you roll a 1.
Oh yeah. So what was Nugh trying to do? Because Nugh wouldn't be in this.
Well, she's trying to, because to them it's not, their hometown is burning, but they're in the middle of a zombie invasion, standing in a burning town.
Yeah.
But Nugh, what did you roll to
I rolled
discern
a
reality?
to discern. Sorry, that's a do anything for me because I don't actually have discern. I rolled a 6.
Okay, well now you can discern reality really well, and I rolled a 1, so you win.
Yay.
This dice roller I've got is either it's feast or famine. I'm getting like 5s and 6s or 1s and 2s. I don't think I've hit a 3 or a 4 this whole game.
So I go over to Bartholomew and I put my hand on his shoulder as he's kind of panicking and I say beige, and I hold up the slate where it says it's fake.
Do I need to roll for a contested roll, or is it just?
I'm going to. That's actually, I think, the best way to do it is a contested roll. Your 1 versus her 2 for discern reality, and if she is higher than you, you'll come out of it. If you're higher than her, you stay.
I rolled a 6.
What'd you get?
I got a 5 and a 6.
Okay, I think.
So I will say yes. You get pulled out of it then.
Yeah, because we both rolled a 6 and she's the one trying to. Well, Nugh is
Yep,
the one
so-
trying to.
To pull you out of it.
Yeah. So Mervon, what would you like to do? Because right now you still believe this is all real.
Yeah, Mervon is taking the lead from Bartholomew because he recognized immediately the reaction that Bartholomew had. And so I think when he heard you barking out orders, his first instinct was to run over and kind of tackle the zombie off of Alistair, not knowing it's your father, just knowing that zombie attacks are bad. No offense, Nugh. But
Flesh golem, not zombie.
yeah,
Not the same thing.
Look, Mervon hasn't seen a lot of either, so to him, he's like, it's walking flesh bag. It's kind of weird in his mind, and so I think he's trying to fight a zombie right now.
Okay. Roll a 6-sided die for me.
That's a 5.
Okay. You win. You knock the zombie off. He goes stumbling backwards, and let's say he falls into the fire and can't get back up of one of the burning buildings.
And then immediately back over.
The buildings are all burning, right?
Most of them, yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Neat.
And then I'm going to run over to Bartholomew and go, Bart, what do you need us to do? This is awful. Yeah.
Bartholomew sees fake written on the tablet and is being shaken out of it, and then Mervon coming up to him, concerned, asking what needs to be done. And then he shakes his head and he starts looking around. I'm looking for that blasted Edward of Nod. I'm going to use Edward spotting.
Edward spotting.
A 4, a 3, and a 3.
Tie goes to the runner. I got a 4. So you spot Edward standing on top of one of the burning buildings. Well, I won't say on top because I don't want you to climb up there, but he's standing in the burning building, watching everything that's happening.
Well, I have a solution for this. He doesn't know that there's a certain sharpshooter of my family who rests on the bell tower during a zombie apocalypse such as this, and I'm going to control reality and have a sniper shot ring out from the bell tower towards him and his location.
Okay.
Hitting with a
Roll.
silver bullet. A 5 and a 2.
Okay. You do control reality. Now, was the control reality to make the shot happen or to make Edward solid?
To make the
I guess it would be to make the shot happen. So
Yeah.
it goes right through him, but you catch his attention, and he looks at you with just hatred in his eyes and goes through the door again. And also, he looked older again. Less hair, slightly older.
Hearing that shot coming from the bell tower puts a smile on his face, and he feels comforted. Even though the town is burning, at least he made someone in his family, his sister, who is still alive, and it brings him a bit of comfort. And he says with, with hope in his heart, let's follow that man where he went into that into that doorway of light. And let's put an end to this.
So, question. That doorway is inside a burning building?
Yes, it is.
Nugh is not going in. Nugh starts to follow and then just stops staring at the flames and takes a step back.
Remove 1 XP.
Everyone or just Nugh?
Just Nugh.
Okay.
Mervon realizes that they stopped right in front of the building, looks at it, and is going to try to discern whether, is this really a burning building or is this just in our minds?
Roll to discern reality.
Oh, that's a whopping 1, so that thing's
Well, I
burning
got
to
it
the ground.
too, so
Yeah, it's hot.
that's a burning
Fire.
building.
Wait.
And Nugg's gonna look around to see if there's like a trough of water or anything, because if we're gonna go in there, we got to put the fire out first.
There's no trough of water that you see.
Of course not.
What's the one thing you can do? Anything. Do you want there to be a trough of water there?
No,
Then maybe there could be
I
one.
want it to start raining.
Okay. Beat my 4.
Nope.
In fact, what did you roll?
2.
Okay. If it was a 1, I was going to make the fire bigger, but on a 2,
Yeah. I'm not able to.
Mervin's going to
don't
look
put
for
fire.
a water tower.
there's not one.
But is there? I can't control reality.
I don't know. Is
I'm
there?
gonna- I'm
You
going
can
to try.
do anything.
I'm convinced that in this town there would be one.
Well, let's find out if there is.
That's a 3.
That does not beat my 6.
No, that doesn't. Huh. Okay.
Bartholomew, what would you like to do?
Well, I've been on many adventures with many magic users, and I think I've picked up something. I'm going to do a little motion with my arms and hands and cast a water spell.
Beat my roll.
That'll be
I got a 4.
control reality. Mm-hmm. I got 2 5s.
Okay. Your water spell goes off without a hitch. There's tss, and the flames die down, and the flame has been put out.
Well, I'm surprised I was able to do that. I must have caught something from one of my fellow adventurers.
I like that you caught something.
Magic is a virus.
It is 100%.
So the fires are put out. Are you going to go through the door now, or what are you going to do?
Yes, with post haste.
Okay. Who is opening the door?
I will. Bartholomew.
Okay. That actually makes an interesting kind of sense. When you open the door, you're standing in the same town, but it's pristine. There are people in the streets. There's actually a statue of you, Bartholomew, standing in the center of town, and it says the hero of Pine Drake, and it has a date listed 10 years ago. And there seems to be a festival going on off in the distance, not too far distance, but you can see a crowd gathered, and there's the mayor's giving a speech about the day Bartholomew saved us all and rid us all of the undead menace. Mm-hmm. And you're all there, of course.
First, I need to roll to discern reality, I would imagine.
Yep.
Or reconciled reality.
Reconcile reality, yeah.
A 6 and a 4. I'm getting quite sick of
that
this.
beats mine, so use a different dice roller. But you realize immediately this isn't real.
Yes, and Bartholomew is getting quite perturbed by this approach. Oh, hit me with a nightmare of my town bursting into flames and being overrun by zombies, and then immediately try to win me over with, oh, everything's wonderful and happy. No.
Well, then you see Edward step out of nowhere and goes, that's exactly the point. I can give you either. I can give you dreams, or I can give you nightmares. And it's up to you which one I give you. But if you keep pushing forward, I will wreck you all and leave you nothing but a bubbling husk trapped in a nightmare forever. Now stop pursuing me. And he turns around and goes through the door again.
Can I notice on him what his state is now?
Yes, you can. Check out Edward.
1, 4, and 5.
Ty goes to the runner. I have a 5, so he looks older again.
How much older? Like, is he starting to,
He looks like he's in his 60s or 70s now.
Okay. Is he looking frail at all?
Frailer?
Yeah.
Not exactly frail. Like, he's not a spindly old man.
Looking for a weakness
but
here.
he's getting up there in age.
Okay.
He's getting up there in age now.
I don't know about you two, but I've come up with a brilliant idea. If he can control our dreams, why can't we control his? He wants to create a world where everyone is enjoying their dreams, and it's all because of him. Let's give him a taste of his own medicine.
Well, I think that seems fair.
Yeah. Birthday.
One thing I have forgotten to mention the last couple of times is every time you've gone through a door, the light around it has been brighter.
Right.
So you've decided you're going to go kick his butt. What are you going to do?
Let's come up with a plan.
Or control his dream, I guess.
What do you once we go through that door, what should we control in his dream?
Birthday.
Birthday?
Birthday.
It's his birthday. And it's also celebrating what? Maybe I see he's getting older. And it looks like it's a human, correct?
Yes.
Perhaps we could say it's his 100th birthday. No, 101st birthday. It's very old for a human. And then everyone's celebrating because of all the good dreams he's given everyone. Mervon, do you have anything to add?
If I think Nugh is onto something here. If he is using us to get younger, his biggest fear is getting old. So let's just remind him what that feels like.
With a birthday celebrating.
Absolutely.
And everyone's saying, you're getting older, and thank you for giving us everything we want in our dreams. Or all of it, letting us live out our dreams. We'll miss you.
That's dark.
Exactly.
I like it. I like it.
Happy birthday. We'll miss you. That's a bad.
Are you going through the door then?
Happy birthday, destroy.
Uh,
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going through
Yes.
and we're trying to
Yeah.
control reality as
Who is opening the door?
we do. Who's best at
Bartholomew.
controlling? Yeah, Bartholomew's best at controlling reality. I think, right?
I'll lead the charge, so to speak.
Okay. As you enter, Bartholomew, make a contested roll with me, just a 6-sided die to see what happens. Ooh, unless you get a 6.
Oh, I've got a 2.
Okay. You feel like a probe in your mind almost looking for your hopes and fears, and it can't find any. So you go blind for a second, and when you open your eyes, all of you are running up a mountain. There are angry villagers with pitchforks and torches, and they're screaming, "Kill it! Kill it! Kill it!"
Oh no.
And they seem to be chasing Bartholomew and, well, namely Nugh. But you are all with Nugh, and there's a lot of them. So Nugh is running up the hill, so Nugh is going to need to lose. They sent that in the chat. I am not just assuming that Nugh is running up the hill, but Nugh is going to need to lose an experience point or a dice, whichever one. I don't know if you have any experience points,
I
but
now have 2. Thank you.
okay.
I'll help you, Nugh. I'm going to. Oh, sorry, GM. Can I attempt to control reality to attempt to help Nugh?
The roll you failed was to hold on to reality.
Okay.
So you are bought into this dream, so the first thing you'll have to do is reconcile reality.
Okay. I'd like to do that then. 2 6s. So I'm
I'm
reconciling.
going to start seeing some of these rolls.
No, I've got it here.
I'm just messing
I
with
know,
you.
I know.
I just
So
last time I was playing with the Google Dice Roll, I was hitting 6s like probably 3 out of 4 times. But okay, so yeah,
what is the new skill that this
what would
is?
your special skill be then?
It has to do with running away from.
Let's say it's breaking someone else's dream.
Oh,
So as long as it's not your dream you're in, you get the advantage of breaking it basically.
dream. I like the way these skills are just built. The higher
It's
the
a fun game and
the
it's
higher
simple.
the skill, it seems like the higher the skill, the more specific the. Because the base one,
Exactly.
anything is anything. Then the
right.
next ones
Yeah.
are more specific, and then the ones above that,
Yeah.
which are hard. And then if you were to get all 6s in that one, it's a very very specific niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like only break people's dreams on Fridays.
Yes. That's hilarious. I love that concept.
Yeah. So this is nothing. This isn't real. You're not even a little afraid. These things can't hurt you. You know that for a fact.
that's me.
Mervon? No, that's
Oh,
Bartholomew.
okay.
You
Because I thought he.
you did not choose to reconcile reality.
I thought he broke-
For him, he knows.
Okay,
When I say break, I mean for him, like he's just like this isn't real.
right.
Like
It's not his. It's not
he
his
broke out of it,
nightmare.
I suppose.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mervon, how would you like to react?
I think Mervin's going to follow Nugh, and as long as they don't feel threatened, he's going to just continue in pursuit, knowing that their goals are the same. But I also think he's going to keep checking over his shoulder for the because I assume the crowd of pitchfork carrying, torch wielding villagers is behind us, right?
Yes, they're chasing you up the mountain.
Yeah. So as long as they don't get close, But if they do get too close, go on.
One thing I forgot to mention, with your double sixes and you can break other people's dreams, I will say you've spotted the door. It's behind the villagers.
Of course.
I'm not going to make it easy
No, of
for
course
you.
not.
Do you point that out?
That's up to him.
Oh. I look past the villagers and see the door behind them. And I turn to Nugh, and it appears that Nugh is terrified of these charging villagers. So I decide, as I was going to do before, control reality. I'd like to go ahead and roll for that.
Okay.
A 3 and a 1.
Shouldn't have too hard of a time. Well, tie goes to the runner, so your 1 goes ahead. I got a 1.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So the controlling reality is they're saying the monster that is Edward of Nod. So they continue out there chanting, and they're running up the mountain. And see, Nugh, there's nothing to worry about. They know who the real monster is.
I think Nugh is surprised by that turn. And
would you like to try to break out?
Yeah, I was going to resist either way. Either I was going to resist the crowd or this dream. So I think I'd like to try to resist. Which is 2. I got a 1 and a 3.
I got a 4, so you are still bought into this.
But I get XP. All right. But it actually bothers me that they're calling Edward a monster too. I don't like that. And I'm going to start playing a song. And the song has lyrics, but I can't articulate them. But it is a song about accepting people for who they are and how nobody's a monster. It's like a kid's song.
I like that.
It really hurts me now that Bartholomew said what he did.
What is your goal for that?
My goal for that is to turn the hearts and minds of the crowd.
Okay, roll for that.
I think it's a do anything because. Oh wait, can it be recite poetry? It's not really poetry. I'm calling on a poem in there that they would remember, but not necessarily. But yeah, okay. That's cocked. 1 and a 3.
Well, I got another 1, so
Wow.
Yay!
The villagers are swayed by your beautiful music, and they part to let you all pass, and some of them even look ashamedly at their feet. And
Yeah, it's like I'm playing the chords for Free to Be You and Me or something, something from Sesame. It's just like something like really, really wholesome that
one of the crowd starts singing the lyrics to it, and the whole crowd joins in. They're kind of swaying side to side as you guys walk past, and Edward's standing at the door, and he looks old, and he looks at you and he goes, please, just stop. Please, I'm begging you, just stop. And he disappears.
I go through the door.
Bartholomew can't reflect on what Nugh was saying about calling people a monster because I was hearing.
That's right.
So, unfortunately, I'm just emotionless, but the player is like, oh god.
I mean, the song is like a kid's song. It's like one that everybody knows.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
Bartholomew goes through the door.
All right. It is blinding light coming from behind this door, and as you open it, this one's actually a doorway you have to walk through. You don't get teleported. Are you guys walking into the light?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that wording. Yeah. Go toward the
you
light.
realize that this is there's a bright light shining in the center of this room, and there's a circle, like a summoning circle built around, and there's an old man with wispy hair and flowing blue robes with silver stripes on it, sits next to a bed, and on the bed is a very familiar looking motherly woman, much older than you've seen her before, but it's the woman who's been repeating in your dreams, Nell. And Edward is holding her hand and is softly humming that song that you guys have heard this whole time. And he looks up at you and he says, please help me. I can't keep her alive any longer by myself. My body's giving up. I need I need others to help me. I need your help. You're all heroes. She's almost awake, and if she wakes up, she'll die. And I can't live without my mother. Please, please help me. What do you all do?
I understand what you're afraid of, but is this really any type of existence for her?
She doesn't know. Not all the time. Most of the time, she just lives life like she would. She sent you that letter in your dreams. I know she did. And that's why I tried to stop you there. She shouldn't have been able to do that, but I'm too weak now.
She doesn't live the life like she would. She lives the life like you think she should.
With that, the shining light in the center, you see a little like tendril of it reach through and connect with the older woman living or sleeping on the bed. And she mumbles to herself, "Please, it's my time," and then falls back asleep again. And with that, Mervon holds her hand a little tight and goes, No, Mom, it's not. I can save you. I can save you in here.
Mervyn's going to walk over and not in a mean way, but in a like an understanding way. He's going to hug Edward, and just kind of pull him away from there. But but the hug is not like to manipulate him. It's more to help him have the strength to let go of the moment.
Roll. Do anything. You can call it whatever you want. What do you want to call it?
Since we're doing Edward centric, comfort Edward.
Okay.
That's a 3.
I also got a 3. So he kind of walks away with you and is crying into your shoulder. And you see as he walks away a little bit, the bright light fades just a little bit as he walks away. And he kind of looks back panicked, but hasn't gone to sit next to his mother again. What do the rest of you want to do?
Oh, Bartholomew is shaken by everything happening in front of him, and it's bringing thoughts of his own mother and how he wants to protect, not mainly, of course, his hometown, his family, but he remembers more sentimental people he cares deeply about, his close family, his sister, his mother, and remembering his late father. It strikes a chord with him watching this happening, a son not wanting his mother to pass on. So Bartholomew is just...
So what action are you taking?
Oh, the action I'm taking? Well,
I'm asking you, I get your thought process now. What is Bartholomew doing in the scene right now? Is he just watching, or is he intervening in some way?
He's not going to intervene in any way. He's taken back by everything that's being said. He will reconcile reality to see if this is true or if this is some sort of last-minute attempt to trick them.
Okay.
I've got a 3 and a 2.
This feels real. This feels different than anything you've experienced up to this point. This feels very real.
Bartholomew will say something then, very, very, something very short. It appears that your mother has lived a very long life, and she is thankful for you giving her even more time together with you. But I think even at some point, everyone must pass on.
Roll, I guess, a persuasion?
Let's see if I've got anything. If I'm trying to get him to let go of this dream, can I use breaking another's dream? Nah, that's silly. I think
no, because this is not a dream.
I think this would be do anything. That is true. This would be do anything. Let me roll a 3.
I also rolled a 3, so
I see. So
he is. You can tell he is considering what you're saying. It wasn't enough for him to be like, "Oh, absolutely, my bad, deuces," but
I'd like to bring it home.
You see him kind of going. Yeah, Nugh, what would you like to do?
Okay. I want to do anything. I want to speak.
Okay, roll for it.
And I know we're not in the dream, so this is, I don't know, magic, I guess. I got a 3.
That silvery light that's in the center comes out and touches your mouth. And for just a minute, You feel vocal cords in your throat, and your tongue is much under your control. As long as you're in this room, you can speak.
Great. I only have one poem to recite. A mother's love never fades. From the stars above, throughout an age, your heart only mends when all your illusions end.
Oh, that's good.
That sent chills down my
I'm
spine.
not even going to make you roll for that.
Well, I
Fair
rolled two
enough.
6s, so I'm taking it.
Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
So,
The gods have
so
spoken.
you have an extra point in recite poetry to Edward.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it's eulogize, maybe, but okay.
Oh, eulogize, that works too. Edward breaks down in tears and walks over to where his mother was sleeping, and you see him pick up an artifact. It's like a ball. You can see sort of clouds and things in it, and he holds it above his head and he smashes it on the ground, and a whirling vortex. You see kind of like a face for just a second, and then it disappears, and the barrier around that white light drops, and the white light goes into the body, and the mom takes a deep breath for just a second, and she looks over at Edward and says, "Edward, I'll always be here with you, in your mind and in your heart." And then she looks over at you guys and says, "Please take care of my boy. He meant well. He was just trying to save me. Don't think ill of him. He doesn't have much time left, but if you could look out for him, he's always been a bit of a dreamer." And with that, she lays against her bed, and you see her chest fall and rise a few times, and then it stops. And Edward throws himself on top of his mother and is just weeping openly. With that, you guys remember that you were sent here by the fire-breathing kittens. You actually what happens once you see all that happen, you all wake up in the entrance hall of a wizard's tower. You look around and there's some dead bodies, skeletons around you. You remember you were sent here to retrieve an artifact because there was an artifact earlier that was causing nightmares, like someone could control nightmares in this town. And the fire-breathing kittens were sent here to figure out where that artifact came from. As you were around the town around it, they told you stories of the wizard's tower up on the hill was a wizard called Edward of Nugh. He was a weird little guy, and his mom was a powerful wizard as well, and she was really the only one who thought anything of him. And she felt, as she got older, her health started to fail, and everyone started to see less and less of Edward until one day no one saw him again, and a couple people went to go see what was up, and they never came back, and some adventurers have been in there, and some thieves have been in there, but nobody that they know has ever come back. But they started getting this weird poem in their dreams, and it's the poem I read to you guys, that everyone has been dreaming that every single night, but nobody's had the courage to go up there, but they know that message is important. So they told you about it, and you guys went to solve the problem, and as you walked in, you all fell asleep.
And so the adventure began.
So the adventure began. So now you guys are standing in the entrance hall. You hear crying coming from upstairs. It's not a 70-foot tower. It's 3 stories tall. And you hear crying coming from the room above you, and it is recognizable as Edward's crying.
Let's see to Edward.
Birthday.
Give him the comfort he's been needing.
Edward looks almost exactly like he did in the dream. He actually doesn't look quite as old, but it looks like something has been stealing the life out of him. Have you ever seen someone that's been sick for a really long time, like sunken eyes? And that's what he looks like. He looks emaciated. And in the bed next to him, his mother's dead body actually looks better than he does. And he looks up at you all and says, "Thank you. I know it's what she needed, but that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do."
Edward, that's you did the right thing, and I want you to answer this question. That's what she needed. Now, what do you need?
No one's ever asked me that.
Well, I am now.
I need people. I need someone who cares about me.
Well, there's a whole group of people that we all look out for not only each other, but other people. And there might be a place you can fill in there. You look, what you did was a little creepy. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but you clearly have quite a power about you. And Mervon turns and looks back at the two of you and is like, the kittens might be able to use him. What do you think?
Nugh rolls up his sleeve and displays his tattoo, which is on his arm, and nods rigorously.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. You should come join the fire-breathing kittens, Edward. They could use someone of your stature.
Well, I have to admit, not all of this magic was mine. I borrowed some from, we'll just say, elsewhere. And that's why it was draining me, but I think after a few months I'll be recovered enough to do some magic, perhaps not on this scale ever again, but I do have some talent and some skills I learned from my mother.
And you've got compassion, and that says a lot.
Edward is very grateful that in the end that you guys have rescued him from his own ambitions and let his mother pass on, and with that, we end our adventure. So thank you all for listening. Tonight we've been joined by Mervon.
That was surprisingly heartwarming. Thank you.
Nugh.
Birthday.
And Bartholomew.
This was quite...
AKA Beige.
Yes, this is quite a lovely adventure. I got to hear Nugh's voice and poetry. I'll have to take up Nugh on writing for the Inspirer. Give you some royalties.
Thank you all for joining us.
Yep. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
On Arts Educators Save the World, we talk with artists and their mentors to discuss the transformative work that happens in arts education. We began with Lin-Manuel Miranda and his elementary school music teacher, and mine, Barbara Ames.
The direct education we got from Barbara, it was life-changing.
And since then, we've spoken with Cecily Strong, Josh Radner, Annalie Ashford, Robert Lopez, and so many others, each with their mentors. Join us again as we begin Season 2 of Arts Educators Save the World, available everywhere.